Although the purpose of this video is to talk about bias, I think we need to start with what an auditor is. Now, I come from a financial auditing background, and my job as an auditor was to ensure that what the executive presented was true and fair. That's it. And an important part of the job of an auditor is to be independent. You have to be independent of what you are auditing. Otherwise, your opinions will be swayed due to your lack of independence. I know that independence is extremely hard to achieve. I personally lost clients through being independent. I wouldn't do what they wanted me to do, but that is what being an auditor entails. Right, now let's look at bias. Being independent to me also means having no bias. Now, as a financial auditor, that bias may be that your client has given you backhanders, that your client didn't agree to a fee increase, so you're biased against them. Bias in the First Amendment auditor role is if you have had past interactions with police, you are likely to be biased against them, and hence your past criminal record is important when viewers can consider the question of your independence, there being no formal rules and regulations for someone to call themselves a First Amendment auditor. Now, just the other night, a First Amendment auditor, Reba 515050, was arrested at the protests in Louisville, Kentucky. It enabled a person who has an interest in First Amendment auditors to obtain their full name, date of birth, and access their criminal history. And it is that criminal history that is being displayed on the timeline above. I would suggest to you that it is important for viewers to understand the bias of the First Amendment auditor. With such a criminal record, this person, in my mind, is not sufficiently independent to perform a proper audit of police. I know there are auditors out there, such as Nasty Nathaniel, who have been fully upfront about their past criminal history. And this is to someone like Nasty Nathaniel's credit, and it enables a viewer to make a judgment as to the auditing style. And is there must be with Nasty a question of independence, but as a viewer you can judge that, which is why the criminal histories of First Amendment auditors are very important. Now, my understanding is that Reba wanted to protect her identity. However, it is by her actions that her identity is now widely known, available in Discord, and if anyone wants to find it, they can search the Masshole server or MERB server. There are sufficient people interested in you that at some point your criminal history will become public knowledge. And for that, I make no apologies. And to all current First Amendment auditors and people thinking about becoming a First Amendment auditor, I would recommend that at the very commencement of your career, you are upfront about your criminal history.